Africa. This is Eliam Pata from Multi. Today, I welcome you all. We are having one of the special days at Multi Marketing. As usual, after each publication of the anthologies, we always promote the work of our authors. And today, we are having one of our very own authors, which is Vashni Josephs. She will be joining us soon. So I welcome you all, and I thank you for the support that you have been giving to multi-marketing. So today we will be joined by Vashni in a moment, and she will be talking about number one, multi-marketing 2024 anthology, and then there will be another book that she wrote this year also. So she's a two-time published author in 1 year, which is amazing, and it shows that writing to her comes very easy. You can tell by the work she put on the anthology. It's such an easy reading, and when you read her work, there's this flow that I like about her work. It's like she doesn't have to think hard to tell you a story. There's this nice flow when she writes her work, and you would really enjoy. It's like she takes you into the scene, and you feel like you are into the story yourself when you read her work. It's really amazing. And then there's another book. The second book that I was talking about is The Brave Pencil. Uh, I don't know much about the book, hence we have the interview today that she will explain in further details. So multi-marketing is really having amazing books, and I pray that going forward we'll have more on like many interviews like that, whereby we will have authors coming to multi-marketing and giving you the glimpse of the of their books and informing you about the services or the benefits of the books that you can find on our website, because I'm interested to know what is The Brave Pencil all about. It's a children's book, and it is inspired by Zian Joseph. I want to know more about the books, at times with different locations. There are technical problems.
Different
There
locations.
is Zian. There is the person that inspired Zian to actually to the person that inspired Vashni to write. Hello, Zian. How are you?
Good.
I'm glad to see you. Okay, I'm trying to add your aunt so that we can all talk. I'm happy to see you. Just stay on the line. I want all of us to be on the same screen, okay?
Okay.
Sometimes it's just network issues. But Zian, at the moment while we are waiting for her, tell me, do you know a book called The Brave Pencil?
Yes.
Okay, great stuff. There we go. We have her. Hello, how are you, Vashni Joseph?
Doing well, thank you.
I'm doing great. Thank you so much that you managed to join us today. And we have Zian also on the line. He's a very happy chap, and I am so excited to have you all. Okay, so the first thing that I want to do, I need a little bit of introduction from you. You can also tell us a little bit about the Brave Pencil and how you and Zian are related and how he inspired you to write the book.
All right. So last November, I lived with my brother and his family. I had the privilege to do that. And Zian would come home from school and he would give me his whole rundown of what happened at school. And so there was an incident that happened at school between him and his friends. And I mentioned to him that sometimes we need to be brave and we need to stand up for ourselves. And he said to me, but not all of us are brave.
Yes.
So that was there was an incident that happened at school that we just spoke about. And one day he came to me and he said to me, why don't you write a book for me? And I
Okay.
said to him, but about what? And he said, just about being brave, so children know that they can be brave at all times. And so that is what inspired the story. And I feel that many times as children, we don't have the backing, as so to say, or the inspiration or motivation to be able to encourage children to be brave at such a young age. Sometimes we
Yes.
feel that, we tell our kids what to do or we tell kids how to do it. And we want them to be outspoken, but we don't want to teach them how to be it. And I
Yes.
think by writing the book, that is what we intended, to be able to inspire other kids to be brave.
Wow. Thank you so much, Zian. You are a star. You see, you're going to help so many people by being brave and being so thoughtful. Do you feel a little bit brave now compared to before, Zian? Yes.
Yes.
So, I want you to be confident and trust your parents. If there's anything that happens outside and you feel uncomfortable about it, always talk to an elderly person so that they can always assist you, like you are assisting other children now, that they can also be brave. Keep on doing the good work. Okay, Zian?
Okay.
Yes, so Zian is the inspiration behind the pencil, and I feel most parents are going to enjoy reading the pa- the Brave Pencil, because it shows that there is more work that we still need to do with our children. So thank you so much, Zian. I don't want you to leave us online. I still want you to stay there. Okay. So the second question that I have is, what should people expect from the Brave Pencil? Uh, just a quick summary on the Brave Pencil. Wow, what would you say? This is the target audience. This is what people should expect from the Brave Pencil.
So Elia, like every book that our author writes, we always have an inspiration behind the story. So while we write it in characters, there's always a real life drama basically that happens behind the story. The Brave Pencil, basically, if I had to just give in a summary, it's clearly about having potential but not recognizing it. And I think sometimes we feel that at adult learning, because I'm a teacher as well as a learning development person, and for me, education drives our nation. And it's from where we begin that we understand of where we're going. And with the Brave Pencil, I felt that we lacked that ability to train up our kids in terms of reading.
Yes,
I was a reader all my life. I love reading. I love paper. So my mom walked into my room. She would say, "Is your house going to be like this, full of paper?"
yes,
So I grew up. I'm now at 40. Yes, my house is full of paper, but they're in a book form. So
yes,
so what we inspire our kids at a very young age, and I believe that by inspiring them to see the bigger picture at that age, instead of coming to an adult stage and saying, now we need to drive learning and development, and now we need to drive reading, I think by then we have really just missed the mark. And I want to inspire parents to be able to see how important reading is, because it doesn't just teach your kids new words, and it develops you into something really bigger. And in
yes.
South Africa, we have a huge market for writers and authors. We're very low downgraded, we really need
Yeah,
to
yeah,
work
yeah.
hard to get books
Yes,
out there.
yes,
But I feel that every child in our country, I'm South African by heart, and I believe that every child in our country from the age of 4 or 5 years old need to have a book in their hand that they can say it's my own.
yes,
And I understand in terms of finances, books are expensive. They really are. You write a book and all you want to do is get costs back. And so to buy a book is expensive. And so that is what we're trying to drive in terms of the Brave Pencil, inspiring to make sure that each child has a book in their hand.
Yes. Wow. Thank you so much for that information. My next question, and I think our viewers would want to know that about you, because the way you write, it's I, I'm an author, but I
Mm-hmm.
don't. I'm not saying I'm belittling myself. The way I write and the way you write are, are two different ways. Okay, so you have a way of writing like water flowing in a waterfall. Do you see how easy that goes down? You get what I'm saying? So I want to know when and how did you start having this feeling that I want to write, or when did you start writing? What inspired you to actually start writing? Because this is not your first. You managed to write The Brave Pencil and published on Multi Marketing in the same year. I'm like, there must be something about this lady.
So my love for writing was during my school year, but like I said, being an author and a writer is not something that is driven in our country.
Yes.
So it was writing poetry. I used to love writing poetry, and that is where it started. But nothing came of it. But in 2019, during a few circumstances, you have sort of an emotion that you don't know where to put it. And as much as you can speak to people and you can have conversations, there's just some things that you don't know how to say. And
Yes.
so I decided to put that down into paper. And just from being able to express myself, and it was just after my dad passed away, I didn't know where do I how do I deal with all of these emotions, still run a house, still be a mom, still be influential, still teach, and writing became it's what we call as writers, we bleed on paper.
Yes. Yes.
And so that became my home, where everything I felt and everything I wanted to achieve just kept being on paper. And so my desire and my love from it came from there.
Wow, that's amazing. All right. There is on your screen. We want to see you fully. We want to see your face. If you can see your full face on your screen, then I want everybody to know who's Vashni Joseph. So yes, I want your
That's
face
good.
to appear. That is better.
Okay.
Yes. Yes, great. Zian, I am very proud of you, and because you are our guest, I actually want you to maybe we'll learn one or two things in the interview. Okay, so I just want you to stay there and don't go away and just enjoy being on the interview. All right, Zian, because
Thank
you are our special guest. All right.
you.
Yes. All right. Now, the other question that I have is it's actually new. It's actually about the multi-marketing anthology.
Mm-hmm.
It's Love 22.
Yes.
Oh, I love 22. Just a brief. You don't have to you know spoil
Elaborate.
the whole
Yeah.
thing, because we want readers to still go for that book and and see what I see in you, to say, they Vashni is one of those authors that I want to follow every year, because we learn a lot from the multi-marketing anthology writers. What is it that we want to teach Zian, or through your writing? It doesn't necessarily have to be the grammar, sometimes, or the content. Sometimes it's the way of writing. As a teacher, I think you know that matters a lot. Yes, that how you put your words into place. For example, if I want something and I say I want coffee, sometimes it sounds rude. But if I say, may you please, the format in which I say, so the way you write, it has a special way of it just has a way. And now you wrote Love 22, and I'm thinking there must be a reason. So can you know just a little bit about that? for our viewers at home.
All right, so let me start off saying that the Brave Pencil was my inspiration as
Yes.
well, because I wasn't so brave writing Love Story 22. So when I started my journey with writing, I was more into a spiritual space. It was where I was looking for something to understand what is life about and why is life the way it is. And so my writing started off on a very spiritual journey. We're trying to find the reason that God has for doing the things that He does.
Yes.
So when the competition at Multi Marketing came up for the anthology, I thought, writing a spiritual story, no, I don't think many people will relate with it, although we do in some way.
Yes.
But what really would connect? And for me, love, I'm not a romantic. So Mills and Boons were years ago, and it wasn't something that interested me. Romantic novels is not something that interests me. But when I thought of writing this, I thought, okay, I need to be out of my comfort zone. And
Yes.
that's what we do as authors, try and change, different genres. And so I thought of writing a love story.
Wow. Thank
So
you so much.
I didn't want a typical love story either. We find somebody, we fall in love, and yes, that's the end. I wanted something really different, something that you work hard for, but you don't work hard for in the same sense.
Yes. Okay. That's actually great. Um, I have another question for you. We, I don't know, because I have a very busy job, and I'm glad now that multi-marketing's anthology is my baby, and it's something that I'm going to actually focus on. I'm excited about my role at multi-marketing. In 2022, did you have an opportunity to write by any chance?
I wrote my a devotional devotion book. It's a Christian devotion book that I published late last year, but I started writing in 2022. Yes, that's when 2021 actually is when I started writing.
Okay,
I published
but not.
my first novel out of it wasn't with marketing, but my first book was published in 2021. Yes,
What is the name of it?
it's called A Scent of Victory.
Stands of Victory.
A Scent of
And
Victory.
okay, great. Where can people find that book?
So, at least, like I've said, a lot of my books I haven't been in bookstores. I find that books are very
Yes,
expensive. So I've been selling it out very on a personal level. I feel that the message that we have in our books as authors is so much more important than just being able to put it into a bookstore. And there's a lot of people who cannot afford it in our bookstores.
yeah. No,
Because it's so limited, and our international market just overpowers who we are. So a lot of that can probably just come into me personally if there's anybody who want to purchase any of my books.
perfect. That is well said, because every day since I've started working at multi marketing, I'm part of the solution on the literature part of the books, because there are a lot of issues that we have in South Africa about reading. Libraries, people don't go to library to read, they go to do homeworks. They yeah, they go for projects, they don't go for actually reading. So I understand that point. Um, Now that you have written the Brave Pencil and the multi-marketing anthology book, what are the projects or the plans that Vashni has for the future? What can we expect? Because we've seen you, we love your work. What are the plans that you have going forward in life in general?
So, so at the moment, the Brave Pencil has become mine and Zian's biggest project at the moment. We want to drive it in terms of community development within our areas. We want to be able to put a book into children's hands, whether parents can afford it or they can't. So at some stage, yes, if you are able to, we would love that you buy a book from us. But we also want to drive that reading is so important from an early age, earlier. And one of the things is we've been calling on a lot of corporate companies to be able to sponsor the printing, which is our biggest cost as such that we incur
Yes.
on our own. And we want to be able to have someone else have their cost, sponsor that cost for us. So even if we are handing out books into our rural and undeveloped areas where children cannot afford to buy a book, we are able to place a book in children's hands. And that is where we're driving it at the moment, is that we would like to partner with corporate companies who are able to sponsor the printing costs of the book, so that gives us the opportunity to place a book in children's hands. Additional to that, we like to partner with schools, kids from the age of 5 years old up to about 10 years, where we can place books in schools as well for children. So driving a reading project as such. One of the projects we also want to do that I would love to do is teach children about what authoring is about, what writing is about. We love, in school, we do a subject called creative writing.
Yes.
And that is where it starts. But we don't develop that talent in our children because if we don't know where would it take us. It's not a career we've ever heard of. And I feel that by partnering with schools, that we are able to teach children that creative writing can get you being an author. And this is what you can achieve outside of just writing an essay.
Yes.
So that is the projects we have at hand.
All right, great. I'm smiling because I have another question that both of you are going to have to answer. Yeah, you're going to go first because you're a gentleman. All right, I like your hairstyle. It reminds me of the movies and all the amazing stuff. All right, are you with me, Zian?
Yes.
Hello, Zian.
Hi.
Okay, great. Now, in which grade are you? You said you are 6 years old, right?
I'm in grade 1.
You are in grade 1, yes. If you were to give an advice to a grade 1 classmate, what would you say about behavior? How should they handle themselves at school and at home?
Be strong.
Be strong. So, and they must also listen. Nah? Listen to
Yes.
the teachers, listen to the parents, and learn from whatever that their teachers are teaching them, because that's what is going to make them the best people they can be. All right, Zian?
All right.
Thank you so much, sir. Thank you, Mr. Josephs. You are really amazing. Keep that hairstyle like that, because we don't get it so many times. All right. And then coming to you, because now you are a published author, and your question is, it's the same question but in a different manner, because I think even myself I can learn from it. What advice can you give to other authors regarding writing, publishing, the struggles, the victories, considering all the elements? If you are looking at a beginning writer or a writer that is just stuck, or is consider all the South African issues, what advice can you give to the other author so that we keep on writing?
I think if I have to start off with just a beginner writer where I was, it was very difficult to put my train of thought into words. Uh, it and if I look at myself now, it's easier for me to write than it is to speak. And I think that's what we develop over years. I think for advice to a young author is that life is never just about us. It's always about someone else. And it's always about what we can do to make life better. And I think as South Africans, we really drive a community work, and we really drive loving others, and we're a nation that is so. I traveled overseas, and coming back home, it's a different environment. We are just a different kind of people, Elia, and I think that's a difference between South African authors. And I'm not saying we're better, but I am saying that in a certain sense, because our heart is more for others than it is for ourselves. And I think in terms of writing, when we put someone else's situation, because that's what writing is about. It's about taking a situation and just writing about it. And I'm talking about inspirational writing. And yes, we have a odd love story here and there, But in everything that we write, there's always a lesson to it. There should always be a lesson to it. So it's like the brave story. It came out from a very space of what do I do? How do I become brave? And I think by putting ourselves as authors out there, gives people a notion that yes, there is something like this in our world, in our country. We're not just all about politics and all about hardships. We're a brave nation, and that is basically who we are.
Yes.
And that's why the Brave Pencil is so much more important for us. So as young, inspiring writers, I say that, just keep going. We are a nation that never stops. South Africa never sleeps. The country never sleeps. And so we are people who should never be that. And all we need to do is just, once you drive yourself, you become an inspiration to somebody else, because that is what leadership is about.
Yes.
It's about leading from behind. But I did that. Let me help you. Let me show you this path as well. There's a saying I have. If I've been down to the darkness, deep down into the depths of darkness, I would never allow you to go there, because I know what it's like.
Wow.
And that is basically what it's about. I've been there. So let me show you what path to travel, because this is the way we should go. And I think if we do that, if we have that mindset of driving people in the right direction, rather than being selfish of where I got today by myself, I think we raise up better people.
Wow. Thank you so much for that. And we are speaking of such information in the presence of my special gentleman here that still has to pick his own career, still has to, see what life is for himself. And we are that example to him. So I think you made a valid point on what you just said.
I want to add something, and it's a story that I've read, and I think it's well known. I think it was a TikTok video some time ago, and it's about two fathers and their sons, and they were crossing the road, and and on the other side of the road there was a homeless gentleman that was laying on the side of the road, and the one father tells his son, you see, that is the reason why I work so hard and send you to school, so that you are well educated, so you don't have to be a homeless person.
Yeah.
And the father on the other side looks at his son, and he looks at the homeless man, and he says, my son, the reason why I work so hard and I sent you to school to educate yourself is so that you could work hard to make sure that no one else sleeps on the street. And I think it's the same scenario in two different, same analogy in two different scenarios, where we can say, how do we drive our children in becoming the best that they can? How do we drive thinking? Because inevitably, Elia, we have, as parents, we own the power of what we put in their minds and how we drive them and where we see them. And I think that's a very instrument, especially in writing.
Yes.
How do we change the emotions or the mindset of people when they read our book? Or is it just something that we want to sell? And I think that is something we need to drive in terms of our young children, of what mindset do we give them?
Yeah. Sometimes, you are triggering a pencil and a paper with me, or a pen and a paper with me. Now you are inspiring me to write poems now while I'm on the interview. That is so unfair.
That's good.
You are not supposed to do that. Okay, Mr. Zian, because I started with you and I want to finish with you, tell me, is there any friend of yours at school that you want to say hello to on this live?
Let's say hello to Ina.
Okay.
Say your friend's name. What's your friend's name? Say your friend's name.
You don't have a friend?
I do.
Yes, say hello to your friend. Say his name. Say, I want to say hello to so-and-so.
Who do you want to say hi to?
What's your friend's name? Say I want to say hello to my friend. Like, say your friend's name.
Amir, Zoe, who? Say hi. Say hi. Why are you so shy, man? Just say hi to any one of your friends in school. Say hi.
Say hi to your brother.
Say hi to say.
Okay, say hi to your brother.
You must say hello.
You are shy. You must be
Yeah.
brave. Okay, no, that's fine. Zian, I want to thank you so much for the inspiration on the Brave Pencil and for being able to tell the elderly person that you had at the time of how you felt about the situation. Okay, so you did great. Keep on doing that. And Vashni, I want to thank you so much for coming to this interview. I know it was a challenge with uh, getting into,
Technology.
yes, but we learn every day. And I want to say our viewers and even people who couldn't view this live, I still feel that they need to see it because it's not just about poetry. It's not about poetry or short stories
Correct.
or literature. It's about life. And
Yes.
people need to hear our interviews because writers are concerned about the way of living and to make life better. So we will share this video on TikTok, Instagram, everywhere where we can so that people can actually hear what we said today because it was very inspiring even for me, you know. So thank you so much. And I thank the parents of Zian for the support. We really appreciate what they did for us today. And I believe that South Africa is going to benefit a lot from it. We are still struggling with printing, publishing, and things like that. But I believe that we will find a solution because we are striving towards success every day, and people that are listening to us today or in any of our videos, even this video, they might hear us. We don't know which corporate company is going to hear us and assist that the Brave Pencil and the anthologies are actually out there so that people and our children can actually learn. So we don't lose hope, and I thank you so much for everything. Have a lovely evening and afternoon, or afternoon and evening. It was really great to have you.
Thank you.
So much love to all of you. Goodbye.
Thank you
Bye.
so much, Elia.
All right.
Bye.
Bye.